after this agent Y'all are the ones that are getting after this agent attraction training. We're going to crush this. So I've been on fire today. It's been a day full of Zooms and I'm ready to bring it again. Michelle, some of you have been on here all day with me. Thank you for Jeff sticking it out. He's like, I'm in, I got this. So we're going to get started. I created this group. Let me share with you quickly about what it is. So the Agent Attraction Ballers is really for agents who want to grow their organization and really want to dive deep. One of the things we're going to be doing in this is going to be a series of 6, and we may continue it. But initially, we're going to be doing some interviews of people that are top attractors in our company. I wanted to start out with just basically some fundamentals and some things to really get your ground built so that you have a good foundation starting into this. I created a slide deck, Deb and I did. Thank you, Deb. We are going to go through that slide deck. And let me just jump over there real quick. Give me a second. Let me go over here. I always want to do this before I get on the Zoom, but it won't let me do it. So I have to do it while you're here. I have to share my screen and then do it, unless there's some fancy way someone can show me later how to do a better job. But this is how I know how to do it. Hold on. All right. Let's go over to this slide deck, and then I have to go to my present button and present. There we go. Okay. On the wrong slide. Okay. So this series is really to help you all with a couple of things. One is learn how to really invite to these virtual events that we're doing. There's a reason why you see all this crazy, come to this, come to that. One, it's going to help your business. 2, it's going to help your life. And 3, if you're into an agent attraction, you can leverage these for your business. The other thing is live invitations for people to listen into. I'm going to do some calls where we're going to do some live invites. I'm going to call somebody today where we're going to do a live invite to one of our virtual events, so you can kind of see how that goes. When Liz was here in Puerto Rico, we did that and it was kind of cool, wasn't it? It was, someone's like, oh yeah, it makes the invitation so much easier than if you think you have to call about EXP or try to convince them to do something. That's what these virtual events are for. The three-way Zooms are also something we're going to talk about best practices, and then the live in-person events and trainings that we do. We want to encourage you to invite guests to that as well. So here we go. So this is just the series. So you have a slide showing you when everything's happening. These dates are going to change because right now I'm supposed to be in another Zoom and we overlapped them and didn't realize we had done that. So we're going to be making some changes. Do not screenshot this. We will get you a fresh one. It'll be posted in Impact later today or tomorrow morning because Deb is not feeling well. So at the latest, it'll be tomorrow morning. Okay. But there's going to be a series of 6 of them. And this is what it's going to look like. We're going to have Gene Frederick. For those of you who don't know Gene, he owned a region and 6 franchises. Amazing man who is a recruiter. He started recruiting kids in college to basketball on a not a great division for basketball. It's all the people who didn't make it to the division, whatever it was, 2 or whatever they were. So he created this really cool. Anyways, he's always been a recruiter, so he knows what he's doing. Then we have Jay Nelson, who's absolutely phenomenal. He just creates his high energy and just is a great, great guy. Eric Orland is great with scripting. He's very organized. He's very methodical, and he will breathe into you exactly what you could say to someone on the phone. And there's a few key things. You don't have to remember these long scripts. There's just a few key words, and I'll go over some of those today. And then the amazing Brent Gove. We all love Brent. He's full of energy. He will help us through as well with this attraction. And Veronica Figueroa is also going to be doing one of our calls. And she's one of the top female agent attractors in the company. She just brought over Spring from Rio. So just love to share those people. I thought they'd be instrumental in helping you build your organization, helping you hear different perspectives on how to build. So I'm starting with the art of a 3-way call. The reason I'm starting with this is because one of the easiest things you can do is just invite someone to meet somebody else. Be a connector, be somebody that can just connect somebody. You don't have to have magic words. There's no such thing as magic words. Your magic words are in you. You already know them. There's yes, a script does help, but all you have to do is be like, oh my gosh, you have to meet my friend Mike Hart. He's amazing. He's down in Florida. He moved from Maryland. EXP allowed him to do that. I'd love to connect you with him and let you share his story. You guys have a lot in common. He loves the warmth, the ocean, the palm trees, the sand in his toes, and his golden retrievers. You're gonna love Mike. So, like that's all you have to do. And it's amazing how many people will just get on a three-way call just from sharing a little bit about this amazing person you want to connect them with. So that's all you have to do. So why are they important? The reason three-way calls are so important is because one, when you invite someone to a call, a lot of times they see you as their peer, someone that they see on the equal playing ground with, and they want to be elevated, and it's almost like it's a compliment to them when you invite them to learn from somebody else, like hear someone else's story. And also it shows them that you have a community. People like you. It's not just you doing this by yourself, grinding away at your desk, making these calls. It is actually you, a part of a community that's bigger than yourself, because everybody wants to be around something that's bigger than themselves. If we try to go it alone and do the calls ourselves and not put another person on that call, your likelihood of converting that person drops to probably 20%. I'm not even joking. I bet you if we did a statistic across it, you lower your opportunity of having that person understand the company by 75, 70, 80% easily, because now it's just you pushing, grinding, pushing that person. They need to know that there's more than them. So like Liz, she's got Tristan and Rick. Either one of them would be great to connect with the call. Anybody on this call will help you. Micah's on here. Micah is one of my dearest friends. She's a great leader in this company, and she would help you with a call. Anybody will help you with a three-way call. Now, when is it time to schedule that three-way call? When is it time to do that? Right away. Why wait? Like, get the call, like show them, ask them if it's okay to send the 9-minute video to them, and then immediately get them on a three-way call. So it's just basically a way for you to start connecting. So you should set some goals. How many three-way calls a week are you going to have? Like, what is that going to look like for you? So I think one of the things we really need to do on this call is on the Zoom, is set up some goals. One question I'd ask myself is, how many people do I want to talk to a day? Is it going to be 2 people a day? Is it going to be 5 people a day? Is it going to be 90 minutes that I carve out of my schedule to do some calling? Is it going to be an hour? Just make a mental commitment to yourself right now of how much you're going to commit to doing this. And then take action. So like, what if you need a partner in this? Like, I bet there's people on here right now. If you want to have a partner and you guys want to meet up, how many of you would do that? Would you meet up and do like some Zoom calling? You just mute each other, but you watching each other make calls. There's something about when you do it with somebody else, it makes it a little easier. Would you want to do that? Is somebody in the chat that'd be willing to like say, hey, I'll do it on Mondays at 11 o'clock, 11 to 12. That's gonna be my calling time. Put it in the chat, and I can't see your chat, so I have no idea what you're writing, but put that in there if you're willing to do that, or be accountable to each other, because that is really a powerful thing when you have accountability. The other thing that I would encourage you to do is to write down your goals. Like, what do you want? Like, what did you want? A 50-person organization, a 25-person organization, 100, 1,000, 2,000, 10,000, 20,000? What does it look like? And by getting that goal of that organization, how is that going to impact your life? Is it going to give you the freedom to move to Florida? Is it going to pay? Mike Hart told me his revenue share right now pays his mortgage every month. Isn't that incredible that our company has a platform that will allow us as agents to become not so transactional in our business and pay our mortgage? I mean, imagine, then that's for the rest of his life. Like, he'll have that for the rest of his life. He'll never have to worry about that mortgage payment. In fact, he'll have that mortgage payment plus his car payment plus his, like, all these other things, and be able to put money aside for retirement and not have to ever worry about it. So like, what does that look like for you? How many people do you need in your organization to hit some of those goals? And then what does that look like weekly? How many, like, break it down. How many agents a month do you need to attract over the next year? Is it 5? Is it 10 a month? Is it 2 a week? I mean, how many conversations? You just got to break it down. And I know that sounds a lot like what you hear about real estate, but it's really no different. You're just listing agents instead of listing homes. And I don't even love the way that sounds, but it's true. We're all producing and selling more homes. We're on an attraction call right now. We're not on a sales, like selling more homes call right now. So I'm being really real with you. That's what this is. So these three-way calls, the more of them you have, how many of those are you going to set a week? Are you going to set 5? Are you going to set 2? Are you going to set 10, 20? Like, what is your goal for three-way calls? Because this is a numbers game. The more face-to-faces you have and the better you do with your follow-up, the better you're going to convert. So that's really cool. So then, okay, what is who should I contact to be a third party? Think about who the person is. Are they going to relate to Craig? Craig is really good with YouTube. Are they going to need to understand how to get more leads? Like, who is it? I did a three-way call, which was really a five-way call with Glenn, Bill, another agent. We brought on Kayla because she does YouTube. We had like, who does it need to be? But it's appointment to appointment. So when you're on a three-way call, be thinking as you're doing it, who the next person it is. Okay, so let's talk about this really quick. What does a really good three-way call look like? A really good three-way call looks like this. Let's pretend like Mike is the person that's going to be that Michelle, because I can see both of you. So you're getting picked on a lot because I can see you. Michelle, let's pretend like Michelle, Mike is going to have, I'm going to call Mike and ask him to do a three-way call with Michelle. Hey, Mike, this is Shelley. Would you do a three-way call to help me out with this amazing agent, Michelle? She's amazing. Would you be willing to do that for me?
I'd love to.
Awesome. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up a calendar invite. It's going to be a Google Calendar invite. I'm going to invite Mike and Michelle, and I'm going to do a text to Michelle and say, Michelle, Mike's available on Thursday at 2 o'clock. Or is that good for you? Get everybody confirmed. Once they're confirmed, I'm going to send them a Google Calendar invite. And in the description, I'm going to say Zoom link and the Zoom passcode. And that way everybody knows that that's what it is. I just put Zoom, Mike and Michelle and Shelley. I don't put three-way call or recruiting call or anything like that in the title. I just put their names, Mike Hart, Shelley Johnson, and Michelle Weaver. I usually put the guest first. Then when you get on the call, I immediately say, Michelle, I'm super excited to introduce Mike to, well, I'm doing this wrong. I'm gonna pretend like I'm the one that's recruiting, right? I can't remember. Who am I? Who am I in this? Mike, I'm super excited to introduce Michelle to you. She's amazing. She's a top agent in the Charlotte, Lake Norman market, someone I highly respect. Michelle, this is Mike. Mike is amazing. And I give like a quick intro about Mike. Mike lives in Florida. He was a Maryland agent. He transitioned his business from Maryland to Florida. It's been a passion of his. It's been a goal for about 2 years. I'm excited to introduce you. And then I go on and on about Michelle. So Mike's introduction, he's the one that's going to be speaking to Michelle, is short and sweet, but fast and powerful. Michelle's is going to be longer. I'm going to spend more time edifying her. That's called edifying the person. So you're going to edify Michelle longer, edify Mike a little bit shorter, and then you're going to let Mike lead the call with Michelle. Because Mike's going to take Michelle down a path. He's going to ask her questions and make statements that are going to help him understand who Michelle is. I don't overwhelm Mike with Michelle, like all of her details. Like she has a team and she's been on the team for 4 years and she has a kid that goes to Stanford and she loves horses. I'm not going to do all that. I'm going to let him discover Michelle, because what we do when we do that is we pigeonhole people into a box, and then I might miss the question completely that really is important to me to help Mike or Michelle be able to make that transition. Does that make sense? Okay, so that's a powerful three-way call. And then the whole time I'm on the call, Mike's talking to Michelle. Guess what Shelley's doing? I'm super quiet. I don't say a peep. I don't even like, I might think of something really smart that Mike is missing, or I think Mike is missing. I don't say it. I keep it to myself. Mike will ask me, I'll say, Shelley, and what's your feelings about this? He will bring me into the conversation. And I don't, because Mike asked me, that doesn't mean I have 5 minutes to talk. That means I answer his question and I that quiet again, unless he asks me again or wants me to go further. He'll say, could you explain that more? Could you share a little bit more detail about? But that's how through a great three-way call runs. You let them have their time. You've got plenty of time with Michelle later. Like I've got plenty of time to hang out with her later. Right now, it's Mike's moment to have a connection with Michelle. And then at the end of the call, we wrap it up quickly. And I say, Michelle, I would love to introduce you. You were talking about how you'd like to learn more about our education. Could we set up some time to go into my virtual world and I'll show you exactly what that looks like for you? And then her and I set up an appointment. We never leave a Zoom call without another appointment, unless they're like on a 0 to 10. So one of the things you can ask someone on a Zoom call, Mike could ask it. I couldn't because it's Mike's call with Michelle. I could say, Michelle, based on what we talked about today, where are you in your process? Do you mind if I ask you, like, on a scale of 1 to 10, how you feel about what we're doing, about what you've heard today? And Michelle may say, I'm like a 5. Well, Michelle is probably not someone you're going to just badger, right, with information. You're going to drip some information on her here and there. If Michelle says I'm an 8, this is what will happen. She'll go, I'm like an 8, but I'm really concerned about how I'm going to move my business over. Like, what's that going to look like? How am I going to get leads? I'm getting Zillow leads right now. How am I going to get leads? Like, those are the kind of questions she's going to tell you her objections. And then you're just going to like listen really good. And then you're going to have come up with solutions to her objections to help her bridge the gap from an 8 to a 10. So she's all in, excited about making her transition. Does that make sense? Okay, cool. All right. That's the three-way call. Let's see. I'm going to go into maybe you may or may not know some of the things that are available in Impact, but you've been probably seeing a lot of things for virtual events or things that we've been doing on social media, and like, why are we doing that? And what's available? So I'm going to show you really quickly our calendar. I'm going to skip ahead a minute here. I'm going to show you the calendar. Sorry, I promise I'm not going to keep you all day, but this is just our calendar. So we created this calendar, and I'm starting with February since we're in February. So this calendar shows you all the things that are available inside of Impact, our organization, for you to, one, either invite agents to learn about attraction or help yourself in your own personal sales business. So we have the 1% Brent Club Mastery Club. If you're serious about agent attraction, you should be on that call every single week. It is the best call, because what happens is no matter what we do, we're going to get kicked in the side at some point. Like, my AC had a problem yesterday, like all these reasons that can get in your head of why you can't like focus on what is important to change your life. It's going to happen to you. It's going to happen all day long. Like yesterday, my AC wasn't working. We had AC techs in here on ladders and blah, blah, blah. And then the other thing that happened was my sofas came in wrong that I ordered from Montana that we shipped from I could have spent my energy like focused on what was wrong yesterday instead of what was right. And so the thing of it is, when you get on Brent's club, on his 1% club, he helps keep our mind straight. He helps keep us on our path. And that's important to have it's like taking your supplements. You can't feel great if you're not taking your iron. Like for me, I'm anemic. I have to take my iron supplements or I don't feel that great. And I don't take them every day. Like, I'm like, oh, I forgot to take my supplements. Like, if you forget to go to the 1% club, you forgot to take your vitamin B. I'm just telling you, right? You forgot to take your vitamin B. That's like, I mean, you can't get more energy than from Branko, right? So, and then we have our EXP Explains. Craig and I are doing bi-weekly EXP Explains. And we're going to put on this when who's doing what. Like, I did the one today, so Craig's doing the one next week. We're going to have our name next to the dates of when we're doing these, so you'll know whether it's Craig or Shelley. And the only reason we're doing that is we're two totally different people. So like the person that you may take to Craig's may be different than the person that you bring to mine, or vice versa. Or maybe you want to bring them to both because you want them to get to know us. Like, oh, you get to hang out with these people. They're pretty cool. They're pretty fun. They run a really good business. They're going to be your business partners in this Impact Worldwide, this EXP thing we're doing. The other thing that you can do is we have these pop-up virtual events. And the reason I'm doing them, and you might be like, oh my God, Shelley, you didn't give me enough notice. Like, I know, I realize that. But the reason I do a pop-up event is because it's going to be fast. It's going to be 15 minutes or 30 minutes max. And it's going to be something I either learned about in the company that I need to share with you quickly, or it's going to be something that I think will help you in your business, whether it's sales or attraction. So like, just be on the lookout for them. If you can't attend them, don't worry about it. We're going to post everything is going to be posted in Impact Worldwide. And Kevin is uploading everything to the Impact Vault. So you're going to have resources and access to everything. And what we'll do is every month we'll have every week, we'll take all the ones you missed and we'll just put the links into a document and we'll post it on Impact Worldwide and be like, if you missed it this week, here you go. So if you're bored and you're driving down the road and you want to listen to it, you can, or you can watch it. The Baller series, we talked about that. These are the ones that are up and coming in this month. And like the one you're on now and the one with Gene Frederick. And then the other thing, these are the 2 virtual events where you can invite people to. Say that you don't want to like share EXP with them. These are not EXP events. These are virtual events to help people grow their real estate business or something to do with their business. So we have the Build Your Business Book Club. That is happening every month. Our first one is Building a Story Brand. And that's going to be basically about your actual about you being able to like invite people to that, because one, we have something that's going to go out to them. You can send it to them. It's a Google sheet where they can, as they're reading the book, it's going to ask important questions to them about the book, and how they can apply it to their business, their life, or their future. Just things that stand out to them. So as they're going through the book, they're more purposeful, because when we write things down, it commits it to memory. It makes it stick to us. And then at the end of the month, on the 19th of February, is that? Yeah, 19th of February, I guess that's next week. We are going to be doing the book club, and we're going to do a collaboration where we all get on Zoom and we're going to be sharing our takeaways. So that way it's kind of like we all get together, we get to know each other, and it's a really, really good event. The other thing I'm doing is on the 25th of February, we're doing a building your brand virtual event. So right now I've been spending a lot of energy on building my brand. And some of the things I'm learning will shock you. Because if you go on Instagram and you look at all the influencers out there and the people that are saying, do this, do that, hashtags, no hashtags, oh my gosh, like you'll like shoot yourself trying to figure out how to build this brand. But what I'm going to share with you on that event, that building your brand, is going to surprise you. I'm not buying fake followers. I mean, I could do that. I could go spend some money and buy 10,000 followers. I'd have them in a week. But they don't do us any good to have fake followers. Like, it doesn't do anything for us. We want real people, and we want to know we're making a real impact with our information we're sending. And you can tell because you're growing like 5 followers. I'm not growing like 100, 200 followers a day, but I'm growing by about 5 to 10 followers every single day. And that will continue to grow, and that'll grow to 100 or 50 or 1,000 or whatever it is supposed to be. But I'm on my own journey, and I want to help every person be on their own journey for this, because I think people are afraid to do it because they just don't know how to do, one, how to get started, and two, they don't know they feel like they're competing. You're not competing with anybody. And I'm going to help agents get really comfortable building their personal brand. So that's what that event's going to be. So invite people to that, because everybody wants to know how, and they want to make it way more complicated than it has to be. And I'm probably going to have a guest on there too that's building. I see some chats. Oh, okay. Thank you for sharing that, Karen. So that's really what I'm going to do, is I'm going to help you guys know how to do that in a way that's easy, and it makes it simpler for you, so you're not so overwhelmed by it. That's what that is. So, and if you look, we have this slide deck. Deb can pop it in here in the chat for you guys to look at. It's March. Every month is in here that we have something going on, so you can see it. Okay. All these events are in here. We got our ranch event coming up. Some people Michelle and Mike, who are both live on this call, are going to the ranch event. Michelle's a second-time rancher. Right? So it's going to be fun. We had a great time. We have EXPCon. We have everything that's happening in our world on this slide deck. And one of the things with the slide deck is really cool is when you're talking to an agent, you can share this with them and say, look what we have going on in our group. We have so much going on in our group, and we all collaborate, and we're a part of a community, and that you're a part of this community with us. So that's what I wanted to share with us. Let me go back. Sorry. I'm excited. Can you tell I'm excited? We've got so in-person events too. We've got our build event in Charlotte, which is going to be happening the 10th and the 11th. There'll be a website coming out probably within the next 15 to 20 days. We've got it started, but we're working on that. We've got Cabo and everything like that. Let me get to the next slide. So this is talking about, I did all this out doing my presentation for you guys. So leverage these virtual events. That's the purpose, right? To leverage them for both your sales and for your attraction. So it's going to help you, one, with your sales, sell more homes, and two, it's going to help you with attracting agents, because you have something to invite people to. People love to be invited to things. Like, don't you love it when someone says, oh my gosh, you want to come over for dinner? You're basically asking someone to come hang out and have dinner with you, but you're giving them something that's going to help their life. People like things when you give them value that's going to help their life. And I thought this was a fun way to do this. Plus, it holds me accountable, because I'm going to be reading these books too. Some of them I'm reading for the second time, and it's going to be great because it's going to help me be a better person as well. So I love that. We all learn and build together. This is the Building Your Brand event. And then we have the Time to Dominate this spring. We're working on a date for that with Kevin and I. He's actually going to be leading this. I'm going to be his co-host for this one. So they're coming up. So keep an eye out. And then this is what the agent attraction pop-up looks like. So when you see one of these, just know that's a pop-up coming up. But remember, we're going to be posting it in Impact. And then who's going to Cabo? Can anyone drop in the chat if you're going to Cabo? Who's going? Cabo is the bomb. The reason Cabo is so powerful is it's like a vacation with a purpose. Um, I don't have a passport. Oh, Heather, we gotta get you a passport, girl. Awesome. Um, the reason it's so good is because when you're in Cabo, one, we have our mornings are full of just jam-packed, like boom, 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 and great information. If you're serious about doing agent attraction, you have to be in Cabo. Like that's the one event I'm like, you have to go to. It's so important because it is what catapults you. And then not only do you have to be in Cabo, who are you bringing with you? I was having breakfast with Brent and Kathy Gove this morning. Um, and they were saying, they're like, Shelley, it's great that you're going, but who are you bringing? Like, who's not in the company that you're bringing? Not just your organization, but who's coming with you as a guest? Like, are you going to have one guest, two guests, five guests, 10 guests? Because that is your momentum of your build. Because I can go to Cabo and I can come back and tell you how amazing it is, just like I'm trying to do right now. I can't do it. Like you can't until you experience it in your heart, in your chest of what's happening. I can't do it for you. You have to be there. You have to get it in your soul. I've seen some of our top performers join EXP as a result of Cabo. Like some of the top talent. So who are you bringing or get them there, get them to come to Cabo. You'd be surprised. People want to be invited. There's nothing like this. We're gonna have Ed Milet. Let me show you who's on the panel. We've got Gary Brecka. He's all about your health. Ed Milet, mega like just performer guy of like business and life and what you're doing. Peace Morby is, I don't know if you've heard of him. He does the two. I know this, but it's basically he's the sub two guy. He's the guy that gets property for free from without doing the seller financing. It's called sub two loans. And then Tom Ferry, who does all the calling and gets your sales up. And then we've got Tina Call and Al Sasek and Bill Pipes and Veronica Figueroa and Coach Burt, who I don't know yet. I'm sure I'll know him soon. And we got the girls with grit. They're going to be on stage. So our girls are going to be on stage, Michelle. Woo, woo, woo. And then we've got Leah Pareja and Glenn Sanford. Like this is a heck of a lineup. Like, where do you get to be around these kind of people? They're going to be hanging out by the pool, hanging out, having lunch with us, hanging out, doing all the cool things, and it's not just because it's cool. It's because you get in real conversations. You have real conversations with people who actually are doing the things to make a difference in life. And you have those little side conversations. I know Craig loves the side pool conversations. Meg, she gets her group together. We get our impact organization together and we share and we collaborate and we all gather and it feels really good. One, to hug everyone's neck, and secondly, it feels great to really be able to build something great together. Okay. So those were the main things I wanted to go over with you all in the slide deck, but I wanted to talk. How do you guys feel about the virtual events? Do you like it? You guys can speak up. We can collaborate now. Let's collaborate. I see you, Peggy. We can stop. There we go. Now I can see everybody. Yay! I can see everybody. Hi Dalton and Asia. Oh my gosh, I love this. I can see everybody. And John's here. Oh my gosh, I love it. And Jan's back going again, and David's here. I feel like I'm like on the Mickey Mouse Club right now. I just get to see all my friends. It makes me so happy. Like I love that. Like you guys are all over the country, and we're like hanging out on a Zoom. How cool is that? Do you guys understand the virtual events? Does it make sense? Are you comfortable with that? Like you can share the graphic, you can make your own graphic, you can do whatever you want with those graphics. Like you can make it your own. You can do whatever you want. Yes, Gabby, I'll send the slide deck. Anybody have questions? Come on, I need some interaction. Feedback, like it, love it, hate it, in between, like where are we? I see Smitty on here.
I like it. I think that there's a lot of noise out there, and I think
Yep.
we have to just take, and if we can offer that to people, and that's going to be a huge bonus. I think that everybody is kind of out there trying to do this, trying to do that, trying to do this. That some of the things that we like with the book club, I think that's fabulous. It'll pull them back down to reality and ground them a little bit.
I love that. I think that the book club is going to be crazy. I literally have hundreds of people reaching out to me about the book club. I had no idea. I just wanted to read some books and invite some friends. I had no idea that people were going to be so excited about that. So that's definitely a great one to invite people to because they want to be a part of something with you. It's easy. And Dalton, did you talk to Herman? I'm just curious.
I have not spoken to him. No, I tried calling him a few times, but haven't got any response back.
So just shoot him a text and say, "Hey man, we're doing this, whatever it is." The branding event would be good to invite him to because it's not as big of a commitment as the book club. But just keep sending him stuff. But keep adding. Your pipeline is important. Who are y'all? This is what I would love to share with you now is like, who are you talking to? Like, who can you write down? Like, let's just take a minute. I'm gonna be quiet for a whole minute. It's gonna be very hard for me. Um, I want you guys to write down 5 people that you want to have a conversation with. 5 people. I'm gonna write five too.
Hey,
Let me
Shelley,
know when you're ready.
can I put you on the spot?
Sure.
Why don't you do like a real call and
Okay.
invite someone to the book club?
Okay. Who has somebody they want me to invite for them?
Like this is not a major commitment, anyone. This is just like a quick, hey, we're doing this. It's really cool. Be part of our group.
You guys
Jeff,
have, you want me to call and
you
invite
got
somebody?
anyone, Jeff? Huh? Huh?
I have my old broker from Michigan. She's in Michigan right now, but she is half 6 months in Michigan, 6 months in Florida. We did have Craig and I had a call with her several months ago, but she's a boutique, boutique brokerage, and so I could invite her to, I mean, we could invite her to, but Shelley doesn't know her, and I would want to invite her myself.
Ah, okay. Well, then you
You,
should invite her.
Jeff, have you reached out to her yet or no?
Not since Craig and I mean, but I haven't invited her to anything yet.
Let me ask you this. Would you be comfortable if I called her and said, "Hey, this is Shelley Johnson. I work with Jeff Robinson. He was bragging about you. And we're doing something I'm a team leader in the Charlotte Lake Norman market. And I was thinking I would love to invite you to this. Would you be comfortable with that or no?"
No, she wouldn't be down with that.
Okay. Okay.
But you and her and I are going to have a conversation.
Okay.
She's been traveling. She had her 38th wedding anniversary, so she was out of town
Okay.
since I was down there with you. So
Okay.
um, yeah, we're going to have a conversation, but I don't want to blindside her like that.
No worries. Does anybody have anybody like Dalton? Have you done any cross sales? You can give me somebody I could call for you.
Not that I've had like any like great interactions with, I haven't really been like talking to too many people recently.
Have you but did you what you did a bunch of cross sales last year? Did you have anybody that you did a cross sale with, a friend or like someone you met?
That's
Okay.
what, yeah, that's kind of what I was saying is like not really any like good interactions.
Right.
I have one guy who I'm meeting for lunch after this that I was going to talk to him about some of this stuff. So,
You can show them the calendar and show them all the things we're doing, right?
yeah.
Okay, cool.
So this
Um,
may be part of the conversation of where do you find people to invite?
okay, so my biggest thing is like, I mean, you have your MLS. If you don't have people to invite, then you got to find people. Dalton said that. Dalton said that on stage about buyers and sellers because he's been super successful in real estate. And what did he say? He said, if I remember correctly, Chris asked Dalton, "Hey, Dalton, was it Chris or was it Brent?"
It was Brent.
Okay. So Brent was on stage with Dalton and we're in Minnesota and he goes, "Hey Dalton, how are you so successful your first year of real estate?" Dalton, there's a lot of background. I think you're your office. How are you so successful in real estate? And Dalton said, "I called people." He goes, "And then after you called those people, what'd you do?" He goes, "I found more people to call." And he's like, "And then what'd you do?" He's like, "I found more people to call." So like you guys just have to get your pipeline together. We got to get our list together. I have a whole CRM here of people that I'm going to be calling this afternoon. So we got to get our list together of people, but don't spend so much time building a list that you don't make your calls because that's a crutch, right? So we spend so much time preparing that we don't make the calls. Did you guys hear my story earlier? I'll tell you my story. Some of you may have heard it more than once now, okay? But this week, this happened. I was Jeff's heard this a couple times, so forgive me. But this happened. It's a real story. It happened to me. I don't love doing cold calling. I'm not great. I've never been a cold caller. But this week, I was about 2 weeks ago, Eric Orland was like, "Hey Shelley, we really need to get after this agent attraction. Let's do this." I'm like, "Okay, cool." So then he's like, "So we put it on the calendar, like Monday, we're gonna start on Monday, right?" And so Sunday comes around, I'm at the Super Bowl. I'm at the Frederick's house we're having dinner or Super Bowl party. And Eric and I are sitting together. He's like, "So you ready to make those calls?" And I'm like, I'm meeting his energy because I don't let people down. So I met him with his energy and I'm like, "Yeah, I'm excited. Let's do these calls." In the back of my head, my little drunk monkey was going, "I don't want to make these calls. I'm not ready for this." Oh my gosh. Like I was so freaking nervous. Right. So what happened was I didn't tell Eric I was nervous. I was just agreeable. I'm going to meet him. I promised the man I was going to be there. I'm a girl of my word. I'm going to do it. So Monday rolls around. I've been busy all day, like slammed. Deb will tell you I have not stopped all week. So all week I've been boom, 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 boom. And then now it's time, Eric. It's Eric's time. My calendar says call with Zoom with Eric. I'm like, "Oh crap. I have not gotten my pipeline together." So let me show you what I did. I'll show you in a minute. But I have a CRM grow. It's a mess. It's a poop show in there. It's a mess. It's not organized. It's like A's to Z's. I have no idea who's in there. I don't know who I've talked to. Some of these people I haven't talked to in 2 years. Some of them I haven't talked to at all. Who knows where these people came from? They're just people that are realtors that have a license. That's all they are to me. Like that's what it is. So I go in my CRM grow and I start looking around. I'm like, "Oh God, who am I going to call?" And it's almost like you're like picking out of a hat, like a name, right? So I'm like this person. So I just start going through the A's, like just boom, boom, boom. And I call the first person. First Eric's like, "Who wants to start?" I'm like, "I'm not starting." So Eric starts. So he makes his call and he's eloquent. He's very polished and he knows exactly what to say. And I'm like, "Oh my gosh, right? That's not Shelley. I already know that's not me." I'm like, "I wish it was me. I wish I was eloquent." Like my brain's going, "I wish I was eloquent like Eric." And he says the right words. He even scripts it out to me 2 or 3 times before he makes his phone call, what he's going to say. And I'm like, "Oh my gosh, that's so good." So he makes his call and the person doesn't go anywhere. The guy that's on the call with us, he does his call. I'm like, "Oh, he's really good too." And then it comes to me and I ring, 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 no answer. Oh my gosh, thank God no one answered. Like I'm like off the hook, right? For another couple minutes. So now, right? So now I'm still working in my CRM trying to figure out who I'm going to call next when it's my turn again. And then it comes to Eric, no call, no answer. Next guy, no answer. It's my turn. I get a call. I get on the call. The lady answers the phone. She's a grumpy Sally. And grumpy Sally was like, I didn't do the call right. I mean, I just didn't do it right. I was like, "Hey, this is Shelley Johnson from LePage Johnson. What is this about?" I'm like, "Hey, have you ever considered, are you open-minded to an opportunity for passive income to build beyond transactions?" Blah, 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 whatever I said. She's like, "I'm not interested." And I'm like, "Okay, I'm so sorry to bother you. I hope you have a fabulous day. I'll talk to you." Boom, done. Right? Dalton knows what I'm talking about because he does cold calling all day long. So then I call the next person, no answer. The fourth person, picks up the phone, amazingly nice guy, open-minded, ready to have a conversation, $20 million producer, individual agent, icon agent, and he understands passive income. We have a call on Friday. I'm like so excited. I even remember his name. His name's Alex. I can't wait to talk to Alex. I know he's going to be so much fun to talk to. So my point in telling you that is we have to just make these calls. And if we need to do a calling, like David used to do them with me, we do calls. Remember we used to do our calling times? We can get back to doing that. You know, even if we call for an hour and we listen to each other screw up. I made a call earlier today I did a sample one with somebody. We did a live call and she was tough on me. I could tell she was almost like the lady from the mountains, but she was nicer. Her name, she was much nicer, but she was pretty close. Like she did a good job being an objection for me. Like she set up the walls, didn't she, Jeff? She was almost like Grumpy Sally, but she wasn't. But eventually she was, and we had the conversation afterwards, and she was like, this is what it felt like going through that with you. You hit my walls. Like I was slowly taking her walls down so she'd be open-minded. I got an appointment with her. Now she was a fake person, but I did get my appointment, but it wasn't easy. Jeff, do you mind sharing that about that? Listening to that? What was that like?
Um, well, what it made me think of is when you're making calls and you're trying to create this relationship with this person pretty quickly. And I was scripting with somebody the other day, and I hey, how's it going? How's your business? And then in this other person in the script says, "Why are you really calling me?" And it just immediately like it made me think like that's great, and that's kind of what she did to you, Samia did to you, is why are you really calling me? And you handled it like a boss, but that is an objection handler that you need to have on deck when somebody's not they don't want to create a relationship with you. They want to know why you're calling because they're moving on to they need to move on to something else. That's what kind of Samia did to you, but hey, you still got the appointment.
She was tough, wasn't she?
Yeah, she was.
Does somebody want to do a call with me? Do you want to do a practice call? Dalton, you want to do one?
I mean, so right now.
Sure, yeah.
Okay.
You're not
All right, ring, ring.
Hello?
Hey, Dalton, this is Shelley Johnson. How are you doing? I'm a realtor in
I
the
mean, you
Charlotte
no
Lake
longer
Norman
have to
area.
really represent a seller.
Good.
So all you
I
really
just
need
giving you
to
a
tell
call
buyer-
today because
buyer's
I know
agent-
you're a really massive realtor in the
I
Minnesota
gotta do
area.
this
I
all
think
the
you're
time.
fairly new, like your
Hey,
you haven't had your
it's
license very long,
unfortunate
have
to
you?
see that happen, but
No.
property exposure for my
But you've
rent,
just been crushing it with real estate. It's super
they have a
impressive.
sewer
How have you been
backup
doing
at
that?
one time and they haven't had any problems since.
Just working a lot.
Are you do you have a big sphere of influence, or
There's
do you have
not much
somebody
that you
that
can do
you
at this time.
do you have a lot of relationships, or
There's nothing
how are you building those
that's
relationships? I'm
otherwise
just curious, like someone like yourself, you're young and
done.
I know you've got a lot of energy, but how are you doing it?
Just talking to people.
Okay, cool. Are you open-minded to taking a look at another opportunity that could create an opportunity besides selling homes and doing transactions? Would you be open to that?
What does that mean?
I love him. He's tough.
And
Uh,
I'm sure your seller would have been like, well, yeah, they just
But
want
what that
to-
means is basically I'm an agent. I've been in the business for like 20 years. I know you're relatively new. You've been in it for about a year or so. If I'm looking at your stats, and it looks like you're doing really, really well. And I too was building a business and something where
I mean,
I
for
really
seller's
felt like
choice,
it was
I mean,
only
you're right, I mean,
transactional
100%.
and I was only as good as my last deal. And I was looking for something
Your
more from
seller that's wrote
the
that they
agents
had
on my
sewer
team.
backup
We
before
have
in
a
there,
big team
there's
in
no reason
Charlotte.
why
We
they
do almost
would
100
hold
million in
the
volume. And I'd love to talk to you and explore with like you if you'd be open-minded to something. Are you open-minded to an opportunity like that?
I would just tell Kyle straight up.
What do I have to do?
Well, I'd love to just jump on a Zoom and share with you what's available. We've built a community of agents all working together to build something for the future. And part of that is through having ownership in the company and also having the ability to make money beyond transactions through transactions and other agents that come with you to be a part of what we're doing. Would
How do
that
you do
be
that?
basically you have relationships, you're doing cross sales with other agents all the time, and you're already in relationship with many different people. And someone who produces like you is very attractive. People want to know how you're doing it, Dalton. That's why I asked the question, like, how are you doing it? And if you're willing to work with me, I'm willing to go to work with for you and help you bring agents to our company. Would you be open to having a conversation and looking at how that can look for you?
I don't think so.
Okay, that's fair enough. Would it be open for me to give you a call back in a couple months and just see how you're doing, check in with you?
Sure.
Okay, awesome. I'll check back with you in about a month or two and just check and see how you're doing. And what I do when someone's not open-minded, I put them back on the schedule and I check with them in a month or two. I don't worry about it. I move on. I make the next call. I'll be calling Jeff next and he's going to be friendly. Right? So like that's how you do it. You just don't worry about it. You just move on to the next. You like that's fine. I put you on the counter. Dalton, I appreciate your time today. You're amazing. You keep crushing it, man. I'm so proud of what you're doing. I love young people, especially the 25 to 35-year-olds that are just growing massively in our business. And I'd love to see where your path goes. I'm going to keep an eye on you. You're a sharp guy. Keep it up. And I just move on. I'm not rude. I'm not mean. I don't get offended. Like my tonality does not change, right? You just keep moving. Then you put him on the calendar. It's just like if a seller said, I'm not interested right now, he's just not, he just doesn't know what he's missing. I may even send him a video or something to look at later down the road. Karen, you have a question? Hey, Dan, I see you on there. He's a baller in Maryland. Hey, Karen.
Oh yeah, okay. I was trying to find my mute button.
Right.
Yeah, do you guys have a text script as well? Because I remember seeing one a couple years ago that somebody used that was great and just texting the agents first time instead of calling.
Well, let me say this. Texting is not the best plan. It's really calling and having the conversation. Yes, you could do that, but it's a super passive way to get in the door, and you're better off to just build a relationship with somebody. Really. Like
Yeah,
you could send out 10 texts, but I promise you, on your third or fourth, fifth call, you're going to get somebody who's going to be interested in talking to you. Um,
true.
so
Okay.
texting is really it's a little bit, probably a low level activity. I would call, like, there's different levels of activity. Calling
Yeah,
is going to be your highest level activity. So I'm going to encourage you to stay in the your HLAs, which are high level activities, and not let you get away with the lower level, because that's high performers perform. And you, Karen, you're a baller. Like this girl is crushing it in real estate. She does so well. It's just that you're not comfortable yet, and I'm going to help you get there. So
oh
that's
good.
not me picking on you whatsoever.
Yeah, I appreciate that. And I was trying to write down everything you had said to him as
Oh,
far as
okay.
recruiting. I don't know if you have a script anywhere, but I got so far as, we're building a community of agents all over and having
Great.
ownership in the company. But what you said before that, I didn't get down.
It's
So,
okay. Now I know why you're asking. So, what I will do is I'll come up. I've had something in the past I've used, but really just doing the calls, you kind of just learn.
yeah.
I have like a script. Um,
Yeah. Just points, maybe points that I'm
yeah,
supposed to make would be good,
yep, that's a really good. Yes, that
It'd be awesome.
open-minded is a really good one. Asking them if they're open-minded is really, because people don't want to be closed-minded. And using
Right.
the words "what I found" is a really strong set of words to use. Like what I've found and what other agents have found, um, building a community, but also like it's trying to figure out what's important to them. So I didn't ask him, like, are you open to wanting more than transactions? Like he gave me a lot of yes, no answers. If you noticed, Dalton, I would love
Yes.
you
Yeah.
to
He was
say,
different. He was a little hard.
as the person receiving the call, how did you feel and what would you do differently? How could I have gotten through to you?
I have to worry about Sarah.
Yeah, I think that's always the hardest thing is like not I think that in certain questions you sort of like assumed and gave me an option to answer yes or no versus keeping it more open-ended. And then also like when I always end a call, it's always I let them preface when they would call me back or when I should call them back.
Yep.
And then cut that in half, but at least like then they said that, and then they gave me the opportunity to call back, but I'm not used to doing this, this is in terms of like sellers and stuff like that. So I don't know. It's a little bit different, but yeah, in terms of just trying to give them more open-ended questions, I'd say it's the biggest thing.
Yeah, I would agree. So I learned today, I was watching something about statements. When you make a statement, like Dalton, my understanding is you really crushed it this year, and I would love to understand more about that. I tried to ask questions like that, but I probably didn't do a good enough job. Um, but like, so when I'd ask you that, you just wouldn't give me anything. What could I have done? How could I have asked that differently? I'm just curious. So I'm serious. Like I'm asking.
Um, I don't know. To be honest, I would have to think about it. Yeah, I can't think of something right off the top of my head. But yeah, if you put some, yeah, we could maybe try to develop, a script that really keeps everything open. And I can look at like some that I kind of run right now and can like try to maybe invert it into agent attraction. I don't know. This is all like new to me, so I'm not completely sure.
Deb just posted some scripts that John Padone and I put together a while back. Thank you for sharing that. That's helpful. So, so here's some I'm looking at right now. So this was some script that we put together a while back. I have to look at it again. But I will say, so Dalton is a caller. So that's why I chose him, because he is used to being shut down. Like he called, what do? You call expires and for sale by owners, right?
Yes, yeah. And also just like circle prospecting.
Yeah, you circle prospect, call around the listing, things like that. So he's really, really good at making calls and not being afraid to make those calls. Like I've literally, he's been at my house and like right where I'm standing, he stood there all day and made calls for like 6 hours. Like he was just on it. It's pretty crazy to watch him. So that's one of the reasons I chose him. Dan, do you do calling? Dan Toth, he's on here. Dan's a baller too.
Thank you, ma'am. I am calling. To piggyback on what you asked, how could you have asked Colin differently or Dalton differently to expand? So Dalton, you crushed it this year, man. If you had to tell me three things that you did that just were contributing factors to your success, I'd love to hear about them, because now you're giving him a topic that he may be comfortable with opening up to, but he can specifically speak to, hey, it was lead gen. Hey, it was my cold calling. Hey, it was, the fact that I just walk around passing out business cards all day. Like that'll open him up and give him comfort, because it's his business.
He'll get specific. That's actually excellent. I love that. And do you hear like Dan's tonality? Like Dan, your tonality was like super comfortable. Like the guy, no wonder you're crushing it.
Thank you, man. No, it's
So
you get comfortable with being uncomfortable.
yeah. But how many calls are you making a day, do you think?
As far as to agents,
No,
uh,
just for right now, just for your sales business, if you don't mind.
sales business, I'm probably speaking with between three and five prospective buyers or sellers on a daily basis. Most of my business is lead generation through, assorted different leads, Zillow, Movoto, things like that.
Right.
But right now I'm also working with, I just started the team officially in December. So
Congratulations.
I think Nancy's hanging out there down in the corner.
Hey,
Um,
my girl.
but we're up to four people or four additional members on the team. So
Nice.
we're grinding. Yeah, it's been fun.
That's awesome. Congratulations on that. Are
Thank you.
you talking with agents right now, Dan, as well? Since you're
I'd be lying if I said I was. It's very passive conversations. There's three or four that I really focus on, but I haven't been hitting the masses. It's actually been killing my soul. I see on Facebook, hey, so and so just moved. I'm like, damn it, I was gonna call you. So yeah, I need to get better on it.
well, I'm glad you're on this call because that's like the start of thing going. Well, I'd love to just do a one-on-one with you at some point too, just to talk more about it. But that's exciting. And Dave, I see you on here too. He's a baller too. I mean, there's so many great agents in this organization. I'm so proud of all of you guys. There's just people doing luxury, David Girls and Hilton Head. We have Dave Straitman in Maryland. Just people that were and Liz and Laura, all of these people that are on this call, you have no idea, like the level of agents that we run with is just super impressive. All of you, Michelle, all of you guys. It's really, and Schmitty, I see all of you. I don't want to leave any John. I don't know you as well, but I know he's been on a lot of calls too. It's just really, really good agents in this organization. So I give you guys my hats are off to all of you. And I just want to help you any way I possibly can build and get what you want out of this business. So
Can I've got a couple questions. Can I ask
Dalton.
them? Sorry to
Yes.
cut you off there. So where are you pulling these bulk lists of agents from?
So my list originally started, I have a CRM Grow. I had used something called Smart Setter, but I wouldn't recommend that now. That was kind of a little bit older. But honestly, like you can pull your full MLS list. You can get that. I will find out the best resource right now for it, for pulling lists. I'll find out for you all and share it with you.
Okay.
Mark,
And then
thank you. Yeah, that's one of the ones we use, Market View Broker. It does cost a little bit of money, but you only have to pay for it for 1 month, and then you can pull your list for your area. For Maryland people, Yvonne Deerdorf will share the list with you too. So if you're in Maryland and you need a list of agents, reach out to Yvonne Deerdorf, send her an email and say, hey, is there a way for me to get a list? Because she's a title person. So title people have lists. So if you have someone in another state that can us to that, just say, I'm not going to use your name. I just need the list of agents. And there's no one knows you. So why are we so afraid to call them? Who cares, right? Like, we don't know these people. I mean, the worst thing that's going to happen is they're going to like us and they're going to be, and I feel like it's my job to share this great company. Dan, I didn't know you. Like, we didn't know each other at all. But now we're friends. I mean, it's amazing what we're doing together. Like this, if I didn't believe in this, we wouldn't be doing it. I wouldn't do it. It wouldn't be fun. Like I wouldn't, why? But the one thing I will remind you of is get on that 1% club if you're serious about attraction. That is going to be your vitamin B for the week. I was sharing, Dan, with them, the virtual events are where you can invite agents to build their business. We got the branding event coming up, the book club. Agents want to be invited to things. They want to be a part of a community, and you're showing them you have an incredible community. If you all want to do virtual events, I will help you do them. You just let me know and I'll help you do them. And like Nancy, she wanted to be a part of a community. Am I right, Nancy? She wanted it, right? Yeah, that's what she wanted, right? She wanted to be part of a community.
Yes.
So like she's part of a team and her and Dan are partners now. It's amazing to have that. So, all right. I know I'm rambling now. Hope this was helpful today. Dan, I know you missed part of this. I'd love to go through it with you and share with you what we're doing. But anybody need anything else? Yeah, Corded is really good. Dan, thank you. Corded is excellent. That is a great place to get it. It's a little, you pay for it every month, but that's where you get leads. That's where you get lists at. I was trying to think of the name of it. That's it. Dan's
Yeah,
got it.
I just signed up last month. So
Yep.
it's an outstanding tool. I just need to use it more.
Corded. That's what you need. Okay. So if you're serious
I've
about
got one
Go ahead.
more quick question.
Oh, sorry,
Sorry so when you're okay, so you're opening the line with giving them an open-ended question in terms of like the three things that are, creating building their business basically, and then where are you turning that conversation into then sort of your offer, and then setting that appointment?
So then I ask them, are you looking for, are you open-minded about an opportunity that gives you real ownership in your real estate business? So I'm asking if they're open to listening to an opportunity. And then if they are, I'll say, I send them the 9-minute video to watch and I set an appointment off of that.
And then those appointments are going to the three-way calls.
Correct.
Okay.
So then like that way you're not doing the heavy lifting, because like I was saying is like they want to be a part of a community. They want to know that you're not their only resource. So the 9-minute call and then a three-way call.
Okay.
And
Gotcha.
I would lean heavily into Chris on that because he's so good at that.
Okay.
So, and if you think it's too close, like they need someone outside the community, sometimes they want someone that's like, for some reason, we're sexier when we don't live in your backyard. You can get me, any Lee Tessier is also great. Anybody will help you.
Okay.
Okay. So you can say, look, I have this guy named Lee Tessier. He sells over 500 homes a year. You need to know him. Like this is someone that you could connect with. But if they're not that production level, you probably don't need to bring Lee in on that, because it's probably too big of a gap, from where they are to where they're trying to go.
Got it.
Anything else, Dalton?
No, I think that I think that does it for now.
For now, okay. If you guys need anything at all, just let me know. I'm here to help. David, I love seeing you, and Laura. Thank you so much for coming on, David and Laura. And David, and everybody on this call, Sherry, everybody. I didn't say all your names, but I do love you guys. I really appreciate you doing this with me, and I'm here to support and help any way I possibly can. So, this is my last Zoom for today, but I've been on Zooms all day. Deb will tell you. She's like, my voice is gone. David, Jeff will tell you. He's like, I'm sick of Shelley. I've been telling you today.
And in 2 weeks, Gene Frederick is the guest.
Yes.
So grab a notebook, just take notes.
Yes.
Yeah, he is fire every time.
Absolutely. You guys are going to love him. So if you haven't met Gene, it's your chance to meet him, because you need to get comfortable knowing all these people. It will help your attraction efforts. So make sure you're on that. That's an important one. Make sure you're there. Okay. Let's rock it.
Shelley.
All right. Let's get after it. Thanks, guys.